This is Joseph Barone, the CEO and corporate learning consultant with A Fool for Learning. And today I'm joined by Bruce Cotting, a realtor with RLAH, to discuss excellent customer service. Before we begin, let me just tell you a couple of quick facts about my guest. Bruce was born in Guam and came to the continental U.S. at the age of 17, his senior year in high school. And of course, as he told me privately, this was a huge change for him, a huge adjustment for him. But he's done excellent here. Bruce has been an agent for a total of 9 years, but with RLAH, a total of 6 of the 9 years. So, Bruce, welcome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Okay. Recently, you and I attended the Taste of Silver Spring, which is a networking event sponsored by the Greater Silver Spring Chamber of Commerce. At the event, you and I talked about having you come on my podcast, and we bounced around a couple of ideas. A few days after the event, I received an envelope in the mail, and it was a thank you note from you, thanking me for wanting to do a podcast with you. To be quite honest, it was unexpected, and what I believe to be a hallmark of excellent, and I mean excellent customer service, that personal thank you note. So, Bruce, once again, thank you for being on my podcast. In your opinion, Bruce, being in the real estate business for a number of years, what are, let's say, the 5 key hallmarks of not just good, but excellent customer service, really, no matter what industry you might be in?
Well, thank you for that question, Joseph. I would say that it starts, at least for me, in listening to your client and getting a true understanding of what they're trying to accomplish. It's important that you know the market, especially as a realtor, because you need to understand how to help that client gain that significant understanding of what's going on in that marketplace. It's important that you're flexible, not just in availability, but in being able to help guide that client. I'm a firm believer that you need to maintain a core group of professionals, competent professionals that provide equally reliable and trustworthy service. We've got to vet those individuals to ensure that you're providing through them the best level of client service possible. And ultimately, the last and yet most important is to never stop learning. We all know that education is important, and in this day and age, with the ever-changing marketplace and technology available, you have to learn on a daily basis.
Bruce, it's a great list, and knowing you as I do, I know you could easily add, another 5 or 6 to this list without even batting an eye. But for today, what I'd like to do is I really would like to focus on one of these. And I'll let you choose the one that you want. On how you maintain a core group of professionals. Actually, the one I want to focus on, how to maintain that core group of professionals that provide equally reliable and trustworthy service.
Well, that's a great question, Joseph. I'll start with the way that we met at a networking function and take it from there. Obviously, networking is about professionals getting out, learning to know each other's businesses, how you operate, not just in that networking environment, but more importantly, in front of the client. So for me, that's one component of finding the right people to work with your clients. It's also engaging and understanding how those people that you meet at networking functions work. In addition to that, I'll actually go through a vetting process. And what I mean by that is, as I start to gain acquaintance and understanding of the different professionals that I use, be it a landscaper or a settlement attorney, and I can fill in many blanks there, but whomever that individual, that professional is, I'm going to make sure and start slowly in that relationship to make sure that they deliver as promised, that they deliver in a timely fashion, that they make sure that they understand the client is the utmost importance and that they feel like they are that important. So to give you a very basic example, I met a landscaper through a mutual acquaintance and literally set up to have coffee to get to know that individual on a personal level, find out a little bit more about their business. Fast forward to giving him the opportunity to work with one of my clients. Since then, he's developed a great relationship. He is their landscaper go-to guy. And it's those kinds of things, that proof in the pudding, so to speak. They demonstrate and they consistently deliver that superior customer service to the client. And that's what I'm looking for in the professionals I work with and refer.
And Bruce, that's really important. The idea, and it's kind of a theme for me, and it's probably going to be a theme for you, especially in this example of the landscaper you gave, which is your word is your bond. If you say you're going to be somewhere, if you say you're going to do something, you actually carry it out and do it to the best of your ability. And it kind of reminds me of a story that I met someone and invited that person to my networking group. The first time he said he couldn't find us, and I said, okay, and I won't mention his name or his industry. I said, okay, not a problem. I understand things happen. Please make sure. I invited him again. He said yes, he would come. I gave him the directions. I told him specifically where I was. I gave him my cell phone number, gave him the cell phone number of another person, and he never showed.
Ouch.
Never showed. It was embarrassing to me in front of the networking group, of course. But more importantly, to me, it says someone I will never, ever recommend for business because you didn't keep your word. I understand things happen. You could say, hey, Joe, I couldn't make it today. Something came up, an important, an accident, my wife, whatever the case might be. Things happen, but it didn't come true. Are there any other things you look at in developing this group of professionals? Is it recommendations from people like me? Is it recommendations from others? Anything else that you look at?
It's thank you for asking that. It's really important to me that while it's important that I'm going to vet that professional, it's also invaluable to get that same background information or knowledge from fellow realtors. So if they have a lender that has been consistently delivering at a high level for them, I'm absolutely open to having conversations and learning more about that lender, that settlement attorney. I've got a home inspection company that is my go-to, and that inspection company was referred by the one of my brokers. Since then, we've developed an outstanding rapport. It has to do with the quality of service they provide, how they treat the customer from the first phone call to the end of the interchange or the home inspection, so to speak, in this case.
And Bruce, do you ever kind of periodically kind of do a spot check on the people, on the vendors that you're recommending? Come back a couple of months later. Do you follow up with all the people they've done work on? How does that work?
Fortunately for me at this point, Joseph, I don't have to do a follow-up, and I'll knock on wood. I hear back from my clients. Whenever I've referred someone, I hear back from my clients complimenting and thanking me for the level of service that's been provided by the professionals that I refer them. So I've been very, very blessed in that respect and not had to do a spot check. And again, I think that has everything to do with developing the relationship, the personal relationship, and then doing that vetting process as you move forward.
And getting all that homework done up front. Exactly. Excellent. So, Bruce, let me just take a moment to say thank you for taking the time to be with me. This is our first podcast together. We'll be actually, to our listeners, doing a couple more. But Bruce, if someone wanted to get a hold of you to talk about possibly representing them in a selling or buying position, how would they do that?
Great. There's a couple ways to get a hold of me. My personal cell phone, textable or calling, is 202-491-2494. And of course, terrific email address is bruce@rlahre.com. That stands for RLAH Real Estate, bruce@rlahre.com.
And this is Joseph Barone once again. And if you want to learn more about A Fool for Learning, or in which to contact me or to assist you in your organization with a learning solution, please visit my website at afoolforlearning.com. This is Joseph Barone, the CEO of A Fool for Learning, signing out. Remember, learn, perform, succeed.